Welcome everybody to a new little series of tutorials. We're going to be doing two series. Is it series or series?
Well,
we had this discussion, didn't
it's
we?
like mice and mouse.
I know. Two series.
Yes, I think that, no, I think it's two series.
Okay, two series of tutorials, and this is the first one that we're going to do. I really
The second one's very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, the second one's very exciting and very challenging. Let's just say that, and it's going to be a longer series.
It's a garment.
Oh, you've given it away.
I'm not going to say anything else.
It is a garment.
I'm too excited.
Oh, it's terrible.
I'm sorry.
But this one is just going to be a couple of tutorials. I've said before, but I really love knitting little hearts and giving them as gifts. So I thought, let's do that. This one is free that I found. It's by Tanis Fibre Arts, which I'm pretty sure we all know the lovely yarn that they produce. And this is by Tanis Ravelry. And it's called, as you can see, Love You Forever. And it produces this really cute heart. It's knitted in an entirely different way to the one that I've made previously. But the way that you knit the actual heart bumps, it's actually the sort of method that I'm going to use. I'm changing the pattern just slightly. And the method that I'm going to use is kind of the same as how I knit the trousers for Bryonybear, for Mr. Bryonybear. Can you see how the top is very flat here? I'm just going to try and make that a little bit more rounded. So I'm just going to adjust the pattern a tiny bit just to try and get a more rounded heart shape at the top there. Now the pattern calls for fingering weight, brilliant for using up scraps, I think. But it does say obviously you can use whatever yarn you want. So for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to be using some DK stroke worsted weight because that's just easier to show you. I'm going to make these to hang on the Christmas tree.
Yay!
Yay! So, you know, you can do that. You can make a little set to hang on the Christmas tree, or you can make them and attach them to Christmas presents, or you can make them and just give them as little gifts to people to hang on their tree at Christmas.
And you actually give these as gifts all year round, don't you?
I do give little hearts all year round. I just think it's a really nice thing to do, and it's a brilliant way to use up those extra bits of yarn. Maybe the more precious skeins, you know, where you've got a little bit left over, or hand spun. I've said this a million times. I love making hand spun hearts as well. The pattern tells you to use 2.25mm needles and fingering weight. I've obviously changed that slightly. I'm using a 3.25mm and DK weight or worsted weight. This one's DK, this one's worsted, but I think they're much of a muchness. This is quite a nice bouncy DK. And the pattern tells you to use double points. I'm going to use magic loop. I've read the pattern, I haven't made one of these yet, so this is very exciting. However, I've looked at the pattern and I think using magic loop will make it simpler. If you want to use DPNs, by all means do so, but I just think the method that she uses lends itself to magic loop as being a little less fiddly, so that's what I'm going to do. So here's the pattern. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. Let's just unfurl my magic loop, and I use a 32" for magic loop, as I would do with socks. So I'm going to use the pink yarn because it's plain, and that'll be nice to you know, it'll show up nicely on camera. This other one I've got is Little Bunny Foo Foo leftovers from No Makers, and that I think would make such a cute heart, so I'm going to use that as well. So we need to cast on 4 stitches first of all, and it tells you to divide evenly between 4 DPNs. So that's 1 stitch.
Goodness me.
1 stitch on each DPN.
No
well,
wonder people said it was fiddly.
I ain't doing that. I mean, it does say you may want to start on 2 DPNs and add in the others when you've got a few more stitches. That's way too fiddly. I'm using magic loop, so let's cast on 4 stitches. I'm just going to use long tail, as I would do normally. 4 stitches. And just do what you would normally do. So scoot them onto your cable. Sorry for the clanking. Split them in half. Pop them back. So just exactly like you would do for the start of a sock. Okay. Right. So the first thing you need to do is do knit front back into every stitch. So basically we're increasing from 4 up to 8 stitches. So we will knit front back into every stitch. I can't imagine doing this actually on DPNs with just a stitch on each needle. Doesn't bear thinking about really. I don't know why she doesn't use magic loop. So that's 1, knit front, knit back, 2, turn around. So what we do is we knit like normal, but don't take any of the, don't take your stitch off your left hand needle. We then go into the back of the stitch as if we are...
The same stitch?
Yeah, same stitch.
Right.
And knit it. So we've increased by 1.
Right.
So I'll show you again. Go in as if you're going to knit, don't take it off, then go round the back and knit through the back of the stitch.
Right.
It produces a nice, it's not completely invisible, but it's a nice sort of tight increase. That's the little setup round, and we've now got 8 stitches. So round 1, we're going to be doing make 1 left and make 1 right. The pattern very nicely describes how to do both of those stitches, but we'll work through it so that you can see again in case you've never done this type of increase. So what we're going to be doing is knit 1, make 1 left, knit 2, make 1 right, knit 1 twice. So we're just basically doing that on each side of our needles. Knit 1. And the stitches will be quite tight on your needle. It is quite a tight increase in it from back. But for these purposes where you're making toys and things like that, where you want a tight fabric so the stuffing doesn't show, it's perfect. So knit 1. Now we're going to make 1 left. So to make 1 left, what we're going to do is pick up the horizontal band that runs between the stitch on the right and the stitch on the left, and we're going to pick that up front to back, place it on the left hand needle and then knit it. Now in this case the loop, but because we did an increase of knit front back, it doesn't look how it would normally look, but I'm going to take this one here as the loop. Now you normally go in with your left hand needle. I find that quite tricky sometimes, so I pick it up with my right hand needle and then just pop it onto the left like that. And then what we do is we knit that through the back. And Dan, you have done that before, haven't you?
Yeah.
So that's our...
We also have...
Make 1 left.
We also have that process as a standalone tutorial at the back of the Bakery Bear News, so if you need to see that in more detail, just go take a look at that.
We're then going to knit 2. And then we're going to make 1 right. So again, this is quite tricky to see because of, your previous round wasn't just a knit. So I'm going to presume it's that one. And we lift it. What we're doing this time is we're going from back to front with your left hand needle. But again, I pick it up with the right and then pop it on. If you can see, I'm going back to front and then we knit through the front. Just loosen that. Knit through the front. I'll just take that off. And then knit 1. So we repeat that. What I'm finding is if I was going to do this again, which I will, what I think I will do is after that knit front back round, I think I would just knit the stitches, just do a knit round. So again, we are knitting 1 and we're then making 1 left. Knit through the back. I wouldn't do this again, I would definitely knit around. Knit 2. Make 1 right. There we go. So I make 1 right and then knit 1. Okay. Now round 2 and all other even numbered rows we knit. So basically we're doing an increase round and then a knit round. So we're just going to knit these stitches now. So we've now got 12 stitches, so you'll have 6 on each needle. So now we'll see how much easier those increases are because we've done that plain knit round. I like this yarn, it's really nice and soft. Okay, so that's our knit round. So now we're going to work another increase round. So if you look at the pattern, what we're doing is we're increasing that number of knit stitches in the middle. So each increase round we're going to be going 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 and just follow that sequence up until you've got 52 stitches on the needle. So I'm not going to use, you could use a row counter, although that wouldn't really help you because it doesn't say how many rounds to knit. So you just work those 2 rounds until you've got 52 stitches on your needle, which is easy enough, you can just count. So let's do another increase round and then you know, we can skip forward to me having finished the increases. So we're going to knit 1, make 1 left. Now can you see the difference? Let me just move that out of the way. There's the bar in between. It's so much clearer because we've got that knit round. So we're going to make 1 left, knit 4, and then make 1 right, and again that bar is really easy to see, knit 1, and just repeat that on the other side. So knit 1, make 1 left, knit 4, and then make 1 right, back to front, and then knit 1. So we just keep on repeating that process, that 2-row repeat. So I will now knit around, increase round, knit around, increase round until we've got 52 stitches on the needle. So I will see you back for the next section in the tutorial when we've reached that point of having 52 stitches on the needle. So I will see you soon.